The big news,
Yes.
obviously, Jason Collins, the first NBA
Right.
coming out.
Yeah.
What's your take on all that? He was on Good Morning America this morning. I actually want to show a clip. He was talking to George Stephanopoulos about coming out. Let's take a listen.
You always knew you were gay?
Yeah, it's I sort of describe it as you know that the sky is blue, but you keep telling yourself that it's red.
So you fought it?
Yes, in the beginning. I think they call it like the 12 steps. You know, you go through anger, denial, and all. You know, it's just. But when you finally get to that point of acceptance, there's nothing more beautiful. And just allowing yourself to, really be happy and be comfortable in your own skin.
So Hal, the 4-step program.
Yeah, he's actually, he was mixing up the 12-step program with the 4 steps of grief.
Yeah,
4
yeah,
stages
yeah.
of grief. But the point is, it's interesting that if you look at the headlines, a lot of them are like first gay athlete, instead of first athlete to say he is gay.
Right.
And while active, that's the other thing too, is that while he's actually in the process, as opposed to coming out, 10, 15, 20 years later.
Or John Amici, like right after he retired.
Exactly, right.
Exactly.
So hopefully it will lead to a more open discussion about the fact that there are lots of gay NBA players, there are lots of gay NFL players.
Women continue to lead the way on these things. I mean, there are a number of women athletes that have come out before this.
Right, but there's also, in the sports world, in almost every venue where sexuality is brought up, where you're going to get shut down is where a lot of men congregate. Quite frankly, the homophobic reflex in men in sports especially is way higher than the homophobic reflex in women in sports. There's an openness to it. Luckily, Billie Jean King and other people, way back, I mean, we're talking late 70s, people were starting to come to that. You had, Personal Best? There was a movie that, came out about a woman coming out about her sexuality, almost 40 years ago now.
Yeah.
So this is actually one of the shortest civil rights arcs in human history for a group of people to finally go from totally unrecognized to recognized, the LGBT community. But it took so much to get to this point that's why I think it's happening all at
it
once.
shows just how much we have progressed as a society. I believe the president called him. I mean, you didn't see Ronald Reagan calling. I know that people came out back then, and that didn't happen.